to heal her daughter. But the problem is said to Jesus, help my unbelief. So actually, we can ask for anything in Jesus' mighty name. That you can ask even for God to help in your unbelief, and God even to help in your faith. If the apostles asked for an increase in faith, but Jesus was telling them that if you have that small faith, the seed of a mustard seed is a very small seed that it grows into a very big tree. So we can even ask God for that faith that we think we don't. We can ask God to help in our unbelief, so we don't have any excuse unto why we don't do these things. You remember David. David was, I don't know any other man that could capture that relationship between God and man. Actually, David mastered that art of actually capturing the art and capturing God's heart. And he was opened up to the spirit world because of that trust and that reliance and that actually believing that God could do anything with whatever he did, or whatever he did in the flesh and in earthly, because the magnitude of also his sins was a reflection of the weakness of man. Let us pray and ask God in those difficult things. Because Jesus said when he came that I did not come for a whole man, a man who is upright, or a man who is not sick. He came actually for those who are in sin and those actually who are weak and are sick. Now, meaning we should actually say those problems, not hide them or suppress them such that God sees that we are better. In fact, it is better to be poor to be made rich. It is better to be weak to be made stronger. It is better to be wrong to be made right. Not to be right to think that we are right than to be made wrong. So it's better to stay in that humble state and accept that we are weak as men. Weak, Paul said, weak and yet strong, poor and yet rich. Now, in that state of lowliness, so that we can receive, that is how we do transactions in the spirit. So let us not resent on our mistakes. Let us not resent on our weakness. Though man was made in the duality of realms, he could dwell actually in both realms with understanding. If he's opened up, we could be opened up into the